Hey Cap, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your small story reading, right? So for these readings, they're a little different than the big monthly shift readings, okay? You can check your November monthly shift reading since we are still in the throes of November. But for these small stories, I choose a book off the shelf that seems to want to speak to you, and I turn to a random passage. And then we will pull cards to expand upon the story that emerges from this passage. So for your small story today, Cap, this book wanted to come out. One of my favorites. Justine Picardie, If the Spirit Moves You. This is a really beautiful book. This has come out on the channel before in small stories. It's a really beautiful book for navigating grief, and specifically grief regarding a past loved one. And I'm just going to read this passage to you, and then we'll get into it. So essentially, I'll give you some context. This woman, Justine, is searching for some sort of contact with the spirit of her sister who has passed. And she goes down this rabbit hole of mediums and the world of the unseen. And so here's the chapter that wanted to speak to you. A story about the University of Arizona research appears in the Sunday Telegraph newspaper today under the headline, "Spiritualists' Powers Turn Scientists into Believers." The piece has been written by Robert Matthews, the paper's science correspondent, and it seems very favorable. Until now, the whole issue of the afterlife has been dismissed by most mainstream scientists, writes Matthews, with spiritual mediums being regarded as either self-deluded or charlatans. Now, the first serious laboratory study of a group of mediums has found that they share an uncanny ability to state facts about the deceased relatives of people who come to them. The transcripts of each session show that the mediums typically produced more than 80 pieces of information about the deceased relatives, ranging from their names and personal idiosyncrasies to the precise circumstances of their death. When analyzed for factual accuracy, the mediums achieved a success rate of 83%, with one achieving accuracy of 93%. After reading the article, I began to feel rather cheered, as if I'm not alone. Aside from Monty and me, there are other people out there who are interested in this stuff. Scientific people, people with laboratories and academic titles. Maybe I'm not mad after all. Don't count on it, says my imaginary therapist. Shut up, I shout. Maybe I'm heading to the right place. Arizona is a long way to go, I know, but after I've come back from there, after I've heard the evidence for myself, perhaps I can finally stop looking for proof. Okay. What's coming to me about this is actually incredibly strong in terms of Capricorn energy. It's like, Cap, I always come back to this idea about Capricorns, and I'm a Cap rising myself, by the way, so I'm speaking somewhat from experience here. Capricorn is the sea goat, half the sea, half the earth. And that earth portion of a Capricorn loves proof, right? Loves the concrete analysis, loves this science data, wants to know the facts, wants to look at the research. The sea goat, the mermaid tail, the fish tail part of the Capricorn tends to be dipped into this intuitive level that is even at times beyond their own comprehension and beyond their own ability to embody that given their worldview. Okay, so there can sometimes be this struggle with the Capricorn journey to accept that fishtail, to accept that intuitive emotional side of your beingness in the face of what is largely unseen about that realm. This need to have proof, to be able to see it tangibly with your eyes. We don't always get that. And, you know, as like a Capricorn human myself, this book came to me in a really potent moment of my journey in terms of tapping into my own intuition. I was having some experiences that I couldn't entirely explain, and I was not surrounded by people I felt that I could share those experiences with. And so I felt very alone. I questioned my own basis of reality, and I didn't know what to believe, and I didn't know what was real. And I tend to come from a very science proof-based background, and so I was really lost with what I was experiencing was not adding up with what I knew to be true from a science perspective. And so this book follows the journey of someone who is also in those shoes. She's a skeptic by nature, but she's also deeply drawn and curious to this world. And really the book is so much about faith. It's so much about loss. It's gorgeous. Highly recommend. Okay, let's get into your reading. But I want to say for you, Cap, what's coming out so far, and we'll see what the cards have to say, is perhaps something about this tension between needing proof and allowing the unexplained, more mysterious, unseen experiences of being alive to have their place alongside science, you know, so that it's not an either or a black and white viewpoint there. Because what this book allowed me was the beginnings of the freedom of realizing that my own experiences can be trusted, and that I'm not alone in them, and that they are not madness. Not in my case. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because that's going to take me into a whole other thought process. So let's get into your cards. Okay, so what is this? Let's expand on this story for Capricorn. What's this thing of needing proof? What's this thing of needing proof for mystical experiences? Okay, first of all, oh, you tarot people will know why I'm laughing. And you non-tarot people will too. It's the Oracle. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're looking at, here's the thing, again, like Capricorn, you're this Oracle. You're such a deeply intuitive being. And so many Caps I know have these uncanny abilities that they're either afraid of or really just, you know, that kind of thing does not fit into their worldview. And so there can sometimes be this stubbornness to really like surrender to that oracle, that oracle inside of you that's calling you to deepen your relationship with your fishtail, you know, with your intuitive emotional side. It's really interesting. It's like you listening to the oracle within you. There's also something here very phoenixy about this person like rising up out of the flames. I'm getting this idea, you know, the phoenix burns itself down to be reborn from the ashes. And so there could be something happening here, a rebirth for you, Cap, where perhaps these intuitive or psychic abilities are really starting to surface for you. And it's like you're now rising out of the flames as this oracle, as this like newly intuitive being, and that can be a really intense experience. Perhaps you are in an experience of liberation from an entirely narrowly science-based worldview. Okay, let's see what the other cards that came out. Yeah, this is whoever, you know, this small story is not going to be for every Capricorn out there, but the folks that I'm picking up on, let me just show you. Let me just show you what I got. The Visionary of Stones, Queen of Pentacles, the Eight of Branches or the Eight of Wands, and the Oracle or the High Priestess. Okay, the reason I'm laughing is because we're actually looking at this transformation right here. This is the entire journey. Someone, and this is also Earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. So here's your energy showing up. Cap is the Queen of Pentacles. In this case, the Visionary of Stones. You know, you Earth, we Earth people have this incredible ability to build with tangible resources that are around us. You know, we can look at a collection of a pile of stones and have the vision for how it can be built up practically, tangibly, you know? And so what we have here in this Visionary of Vessels is this essentially idea of your feet being very rooted in reality, you know, being very rooted in the practical, the tangible. I mean, we're showing someone standing on on two houses, hobbit houses, you know, and there's that little cap symbol right up there just to extra confirm for you. They're standing in their garden. It's just essentially, it's rooted in earth, you know. This is you with your feet on the ground, firmly planted, saying, this is how life is. This is reality. My feet are firmly rooted in reality. And then there's this, and what I'm getting from these cards for you today is there's this like slightly contradictory notion coming up here. Something else, something otherworldly coming through with the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is often talked about as like spiritual downloads or incoming messages that are coming from an otherworldly place. And I'm very much getting that with this card because I'm getting, first of all, we're talking about the sea goat. Here's an octopus floating in the void of the sea, and here's the goat standing firmly rooted on stones, on the earth. So this is so fascinating. This is exactly what I felt from that reading, which is like, here's your goat half, and then here's the sea part of you as this multi-tentacled octopus sort of tapping into the matrix here. See the grid in the background? It's like tapping into the unseen web that runs through all of life, and you're getting messages from there. You know, it's like your hands are kind of reaching out, even if unconsciously, and beginning to tap into things that are beyond this earthly experience, that perhaps even defy your earthly worldview. And so it's like they're coming in, and they're coming in pretty strong. They're coming in with a lot of fire because we're looking at wands energy. So you can't really stop this, you know, you can't really block that out. And so it's sort of asking you to really, it's lighting you up again with the fire energy. It's lighting you up, and it's calling you to be reborn as this other being. It's really interesting to me how we can't see the feet in this one. We only see the feet in this version of you. This is the shift. This is the transformation. Wow. Okay, so Cap, what I'm going to do now is carry this reading over into an extended. So if you're keying into this small story and you think I'm talking to you, your psychic abilities are beginning to expand, and perhaps that is really causing some conflict within you, given the earthly rooted, practical, science-based worldview that you're dealing with, and you would, and this is you I'm talking to, and you'd like some extra insight, follow me over to the extended. Okay, I'm going to continue to pull cards. I'm going to ask why the oracle is calling to you. What are these messages that are coming in? How can you sort of find integration of your worldviews so that you don't feel like you're entirely pulled out to outer space? You know, how can you remain feet on the ground while also expanding your spirit? All right, so we're gonna dig into this now. If you're into that, stick around. There'll be a little preview of the extended reading at the end here so that you can check if it's continuing to resonate for you. And if it is, click the link in the description box below and that will take you over to Vimeo where you can view that extended reading instantly. All right, Capricorn, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself and I will talk to you soon. Glitch in the matrix, baby. Yep, it might feel like your life, like the fabric of your life, the matrix of your life is glitching. Your binary code is glitching. I've just watched The Matrix recently and I've been like re-obsessed with it. You know, the spoon does not bend. It is you that bends. The spoon is you. That's what I'm talking about. This is outside of the binary, baby. This is outside of a binary worldview. It's like, pfft. This is taking that pill and being able to see outside the matrix. One more for Capricorn. Yeah, beautiful. Welcome to the liminal space. Hi. Pull up a chair. I love this card too because it's like the doorway. Again, it's like suddenly a door opens in what you would otherwise see as like the normal fabric of your reality.